Here's why wide peeking is bad. But people won't learn this and they won't understand why. Okay, so let's say it's a long rush, right? You're a little late. You see the flash is coming over and then you want to peek. So if you wide peek, right, and you want to shoot this guy on the door because that's where you're going to pre-aim, then you're going to go like this and shoot the guy on the door, and this guy's going to see you too. Right? That's why wide peeking is bad. So if you peek just enough for one person, then that guy can't trade. Right? So the issue is that when people miss their first bullet, sometimes a wide peek will help them or get them killed, and that sucks because they want to win their one-on-one. But that's why wide peeking is bad. Now to deal with wide peeking pretty much comes down to two things: crosshair placement and tracking. So either you're holding like this, right? Holding like this. So at a lower level, you want to hold wider most of the time. And even at a high level, like I did the video on swag, his crosshair is always really far out. And that's because sometimes a wide peek to you might actually not be a wide peek to them. So you can almost always guarantee you can hold your crosshair out somewhat wide and expect that someone's going to peek here, and that's not a ridiculously wide peek. But this helps you if they peek into your bullet. The other thing is that if someone comes out with a super, it's a game of probability. So if someone comes out with a super sick peek, then yeah, you have to flick inwards to hit them. But let's say this, for example, you hold super tight and someone wide peeks. Now you've got to track to like here. Let's say their head's like right here. You've got to hit this flick. You've got to hit that flick or whatever flick that is. But if you hold here, then you only have to flick, 50% of that length this way or 50% of the length that way, right? So that's why generally it's better to hold your crosshair out a little bit wider. And then most of the time, I would argue that they're going to come out somewhere around here. You know what I mean? So that's why wide peeking is bad, and that's how you stop wide peeking, or how you deal with it. You never want to have to rely on flicking because flicking is inconsistent. If you ask someone to flick 50 times, they're going to miss, a certain number of those times. But if you have someone with good crosshair placement and the flick isn't as hard, then they're going to hit more of their shots. So that's why it's always better to think about, just try to visualize and think about where the person's going to be, as opposed to like where the person's going to come from, right? Where they're going to end up. The last thing is that you also have to account for the fact that your reaction time is not 1 millisecond, right? It's probably around 200. So that means that even if they do peek here, you're not gonna be able to shoot right away, not right away. And holding it a little wide helps for that too.